Have a look around you as you go about your daily life. Notice all the people going about their day. On the outside, they look normal, but each one of these people houses a world within their bodies that we can't see. They all carry with them their life stories and experiences, their values and beliefs. They're all different ages, races, and come from all types of backgrounds and socioeconomic statuses. Did you know that 70% of people have experienced some type of traumatic event at least once in their lives? Now let's talk about trauma. What is individual trauma? According to SAMHSA, individual trauma results from an event, series of events, or set of circumstances that is experienced by an individual as physically or emotionally harmful or life-threatening, and that has lasting adverse effects on the individual's functioning and mental, physical, social, emotional, or spiritual well-being. When we experience a traumatic event, it shocks our system. It shakes up our reality and our belief about people, the world, as well as our value systems. Trauma can erode trust in people and relationships, especially if the trauma was caused by a caregiver or someone you trusted. Trauma caused by someone we trusted is the ultimate betrayal and can cause a gaping wound within us, which has the ability to affect the rest of our lives, our relationships, and our mental and physical health. In order to cope with the traumatic event or a series of events, a person can become disassociated. Disassociation is when a person disconnects from their body, their thoughts, feelings, memories, identity, to block and protect oneself from the grueling pain of the trauma. Trauma can push us into a constant state of hyperarousal, which is an overactive fight or flight stress response. This can make it hard for us to sleep or to cope with daily life. When we are in this state, we can find it hard to regulate our emotions or reactions to everyday occurrences. We can have a tendency to catastrophize and think the worst in any given situation. Everything can become a perceived danger to us, which can also lead to paranoia due to our distrust of people and the world. We feel that everything and everybody is out to get us because we have an inability to feel safe. Trauma can cause insomnia, nightmares, anxiety, depression, flashbacks, avoidance of emotion, loss of self-worth, shame, loss of identity, loss of safety, loss of intimacy. Many individuals suffering with trauma will find it hard to cope with the severe emotional pain, stress, and physical discomfort. And 75% of those individuals will go on to have a substance abuse disorder in order to cope, escape, or numb the pain of their lives and their reality. I was one of those people. Growing up with caregivers who suffered from generational trauma, individual trauma, mental illness, and addiction, my home was toxic and dysfunctional, to say the least. I'm not going to go into details, but let's just say I saw and experienced more than a young child should ever be exposed to. So I started doing drugs and drinking at the age of 13. I remember the first time I took a drink of alcohol and how it relaxed my rigid and tense body. It seemed to have washed all my pain away. I knew after that first drink that I was an alcoholic, but I kept doing it anyway. I would have done and did just about anything to escape the pain of my life and my reality. As I got older, my addiction turned into being a workaholic, a gym addict with an obsession to become a successful high achiever. I thought that if I became successful, that would prove that I made it, and that would mean that I was worth something. So I climbed the ladder, and I was on the top of my game at the age of 25, making a 6-figure income and managing 25 employees. I found a driven and a successful boyfriend, turned husband, and we were in the top 1% in our earnings. And we were on top of the world, living a lavish life. We got the house and then the children. When I had my first child, I had given up my career to become a stay-at-home mom. Up until that point, my career was my purpose and my identity. So I found myself battling an identity crisis. I didn't have much social interaction, and I had to fulfill this new role as a mother. Then my grandmother passed away, and she was the light of my life, and her passing was the catalyst to my healing. And this happened in 2010. And in 2011, I got a divorce, so the world we built together was destroyed. I lost everything, and I had to start all over. I became a single mom, and it was then that I got to working diligently and seriously on myself. I was an absolute mess on the inside, triggered by everything, but I faced the pain that I had been avoiding all my life. I felt broken and damaged beyond repair. I feared that there was too much to fix, and I was overwhelmed at how I was going to even begin. But I knew I had to do the work to save my life because I was in too much pain to continue living the way that I was. I wanted to be a stable mom for my children, and I didn't want to pass my trauma to them. So I began revisiting my childhood, one trauma and limiting belief at a time, through a process called Emotional Freedom Technique, through emoting, writing, crying, grieving, feeling, taking care of my body, feeding myself well, nurturing myself, yoga, breath work, aromatherapy, and any other natural remedy I could get my hands on. Since then, I've kept up on my healing, and I can say that I've found liberation within that I never knew existed. And I am a living example that you can heal your trauma. You can break your addictions. You can have healthy relationships again. You can feel safe. You can have intimacy in your life. You can allow others in. You can trust again. And you can get to know yourself again. You can love yourself and others again. I can proudly say that I am just about 5 years sober, and that I have more clarity and presence than ever before. It's a long, hard journey to healing, not gonna lie about that, but there's nothing more fulfilling for yourself and your family, and you can heal.